Has the Toronto Maple Leafs playoff agony finally reached its breaking point, forcing them to confront their past and reclaim a forgotten hero? For years, the Toronto Maple Leafs have been trapped in a cruel cycle of playoff disappointment. The regular season glimmers with promise. The talent is undeniable, but come playoff time, a familiar, agonizing script plays out. Another early exit, another season of shattered dreams, another round of soul-searching. This year, the sting of being eliminated in the second round by the Florida Panthers felt particularly acute, leading to a blunt assessment from general manager Brad Treliving. His words echoed across the hockey world, a desperate plea for a different future. There's some DNA that has to change on our team. This isn't just about tweaking the roster. It's about a fundamental shift in identity, a change in the very fabric of the team. And as the Maple Leafs enter a crucial offseason with a hefty $25.7 million in cap space, the spotlight is firmly on who Treliving will bring in to catalyze this transformation. Amidst the flurry of potential free agents and trade targets, one name has emerged from the past, a name that evokes both adoration and frustration from the Leafs faithful: Nazem Kadri. Could a reunion with the feisty centerman, a player once beloved but ultimately traded away for his playoff transgressions, be the radical DNA change Toronto so desperately needs? This isn't just a personnel move. It's a narrative arc, a chance at redemption, and an ultimate gamble on a player who has already tasted Stanley Cup glory elsewhere. The imperative for a center: why Kadri makes sense again. The Maple Leafs' most glaring need heading into the offseason is clear. They require at least one, possibly two, new centers. While John Tavares is expected to re-sign, his role has shifted, making him a more suitable third-line option at this stage of his career. This leaves a gaping hole on the second line, a critical position for any team with championship aspirations. This is where Nazem Kadri enters the conversation, not just as a potential fit, but as a compelling, almost poetic solution. NHL analyst Jonas Siegel of The Athletic has explicitly urged the Maple Leafs to trade for Kadri, currently with the Calgary Flames. Siegel acknowledges the potential complications. Kadri will be 35 in October and still has 4 years left on his contract, with a cap hit of $7 million. There's also the lingering, if puzzling, beef Flames ownership might have with Treliving from his 2023 exit from Calgary, where he was GM when Kadri signed his current deal. However, Siegel quickly dismisses the latter, suggesting the beef is hard to fathom, given Treliving's contract was simply up. Despite these potential hurdles, the merits of a reunion are undeniable. Kadri is still a highly effective player, proving his worth last season with the Flames by recording an impressive 35 goals and 32 assists for 67 points in 82 games, playing over 19 minutes a night. These are second-line center numbers through and through. Kadri's current contract, a 7-year, $49 million deal, is now in its 4th year, meaning the Leafs would be taking on a $7 million cap hit for his remaining 4 seasons. While that's a significant commitment for a player approaching 35, his consistent offensive production and proven ability to perform at a high level make him a tempting proposition. Changing the DNA: Kadri's intangibles and playoff prowess. Brad Treliving's candid admission about the need for a DNA change wasn't just corporate speak, it was a desperate cry for a shift in the team's mental fortitude, particularly in those crucial playoff moments. And this is precisely where Siegel argues Kadri could make the most profound impact. The argument would be in part about personality, Siegel wrote. For better and worse, Kadri is Tavares' opposite, feistier in a way that would move the DNA of the team in a different direction. He's also been a much stronger playoff performer than Tavares. This is a crucial distinction. While Tavares is a respected leader and a consistent offensive force, the Leafs have often been criticized for a perceived lack of playoff snarl and grit. Kadri, for all his past disciplinary issues in Toronto, brings an undeniable edge, a fiery competitiveness that seems to elevate in the postseason. The very reason Kadri was traded from Toronto in the first place was due to a series of ill-timed penalties and suspensions in the playoffs. Yet, what happened after he left? He went to the Colorado Avalanche and played a pivotal role in their 2022 Stanley Cup victory, showcasing precisely the type of intense, impactful playoff performance that the Leafs have desperately lacked. This is a player who has proven he can deliver when the stakes are highest, a trait that the current Maple Leafs core has, unfortunately, struggled to consistently demonstrate. A new era in Toronto, reconciling the past. Another significant factor making a Kadri reunion more plausible now is the significant organizational shift in Toronto. As Siegel points out, the Leafs aren't run by the same people, Brendan Shanahan, Kyle Dubas, as back then. The management team that made the difficult decision to trade Kadri is no longer at the helm. This new regime, led by Treliving, might view Kadri's past transgressions through a different lens, focusing instead on his current impact and proven playoff success. However, Siegel adds a layer of complexity. However, the organization still would have to be comfortable bringing Kadri back with all that baggage in the rearview mirror, never mind his ability to remain effective on a deal that will last until he's 38. And in an ironic twist, the GM who signed Kadri to that long-term, high-value deal with the Flames was none other than Treliving himself. This could be seen as both a positive, Treliving clearly believes in Kadri, and a potential negative, Treliving would be taking on his own long-term commitment. The optics of bringing back a player who was effectively exiled for playoff issues would be a massive story in Toronto, but if anyone can navigate the complexities of that narrative, it's Treliving. The Toronto Maple Leafs stand at a precipice. The need for a true DNA change is undeniable, and the opportunity to bring back a proven, playoff-hardened center in Nazem Kadri is a fascinating prospect. It's a move that would not only fill a critical roster hole, but also fundamentally alter the team's personality, potentially injecting the very grit and competitive fire they've lacked. The questions surrounding his age and contract are valid, but the allure of a player who has already brought a Stanley Cup to another city, precisely after leaving Toronto, might just be too strong to ignore. What do you think, Leafs Nation? Should Brad Treliving dare to bring Nazem Kadri back to Toronto, or is the past too problematic to revisit? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're ready for some bold moves this offseason, hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive insights.